Scott Rosenberg, 30 years old, Fishkill, New York, General Manager of Il Barilotto in Fishkill, New York. Hi, my name is Scott Rosenberg. I'm 30 years old, and I'm currently the General Manager of Il Barilotto in Fishkill, New York, up in Dutchess County. And I want to be on Rocco's dinner party. Tell you a little bit about myself. I've been cooking for about 15 years now. My very first glamorous cooking job was making pizza dough at a pizzeria, and I did it for over a year. And after a year of doing pizza dough and grinding mozzarella, I said to myself, if I still enjoy this, then this is definitely the field of business that I want to go into. And 15 years later, I'm still doing it, and I'm loving it. Right now, I run an Italian restaurant in Dutchess County, which is about 50 miles north of New York City, and we grab clientele all the way from Manhattan, Connecticut, New Jersey, and all around New York that come here, come see me, and come experience what Il Barilotto delivers within these brick walls. We create, and I create, an amazing Italian menu here with dishes such as mussels steamed with Cinzano sweet vermouth. We have delicious pastas with orecchiette and a roasted cauliflower puree with crispy prosciutto. Simple Italian dishes with kind of a modern flair. And an amazing all-Italian wine list that I also oversee. We've received Wine Spectator Award 6 years in a row now. And I got to that point from a little bit of education. I actually went to two schools. I am a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York, and I also went to another school. You may have heard of it. It's I've been a student there for about 12 years now, maybe even longer. It's called the School of Common Sense, and the School of Common Sense has taught me really a lot about what it means to work hard and how you become successful and operate something in a proper way. Not everybody goes to that school, but I'm definitely a student of that school, and I will be for a long time. So when people come into my restaurant, whether it be a Tuesday or a Saturday, they're constantly asking me, Scott, what do you recommend tonight? And I love taking care of the guests. It's like I'm having a dinner party every single night here at the restaurant, because I know everybody. They're my guests, this is my house, I'm taking care of them, and I want to make sure that they have a great time. Whether I'm recommending, a bottle that's similar to a Pinot Noir for them on the list that they're unaware of, like let's say, hey, we're having a little piece of fish, but we want to have some red wine tonight. Scott, what do you recommend? Well, let's see. Let's do a bottle of Lagrange tonight. It's from northern Italy. It's got this Pinot Noir-esque sense to it, and you're going to love it. And, one of my big catch lines here, and I really mean it, is if you don't like it, I'll be more than happy to drink it at the end of the night. And you know what? I don't drink too many bottles at the end of the night. A little bit about, some of the favorite things that I like to cook, and, customers are constantly asking me, I'm like their personal concierge of, what was my best dinner party, what was my best meal, what was my favorite thing on the menu. They're constantly asking and looking for a recommendation. As far as one of my ultimate dishes, I love creating something really special on a special occasion, such as a holiday. And, I don't think any holiday is more important than Christmas Day. Christmas Day is a day that you kind of bust out all the extras, and there's no stopping as to what kind of luxury you're going to put onto the table. So one of my most memorable dishes that I prepared was a whole rack of milk-fed veal that day on Christmas Day. It came out of the oven, slow roasted to a perfect medium rare. And I carved it tableside, and everyone got their own personal veal chop. And as those knives went into the veal chop and the first bite was tasted, there was complete silence at the dinner table. And it was just one of those magical moments where, you had created something that was almost, godly. It was amazing. And as far as ultimate dinner parties, I don't really have like an ultimate dinner party that I've hosted or prepared for. Some of my most memorable dinner parties involve what's going on outside. Whether, it's a holiday like 4th of July and we're going to do a really nice barbecue outside, or it's super cold. And one of the ones that I always remember is when the snow comes through upstate New York here. We have to shut the restaurant down. It's 10 degrees outside, and I head home. I invite some of my friends over, and we get cooking. The snow boots get left at the door. Everyone kind of hangs out onto the couch. I start opening a really nice bottle of Rioja, or maybe 2, or maybe 3. I get a great piece of beef chuck onto the stove. We sear it. It's going in the oven with red wine and flavors like rosemary that start to permeate through the apartment. Now we're cooking. A little creamy polenta and some roasted root vegetables. And before you know it, we're at the table. I throw down beautiful antique heirloom, kind of that linen-y color tablecloth, some really rustic dishes, and kind of an eclectic mix of silverware onto the table. Everyone brings their glass of wine over, and we're serving family style tonight because that's the way friends and family serve it. All in the center of the table, everyone's grabbing, arms going across each other, and it's a great time. I put my iPod on, we have some amazing, amazing music being played, lots of candles everywhere, the lights turn really low, and those are the dinner parties that everyone's going to remember, not the one with food that was so artfully presented that it turned cold. Fussy food is just for the birds, and it's not my style. And maybe that is what puts me in a little bit of an advantage above maybe some other chefs in the industry. Forget the fact that I worked at Danielle and I have some kind of upper crust training, or that I was kind of that kitchen to dining room segue for chefs like Andrew Carmelini. No, it's about the fact that the average chef, when he's done preparing the food, he or she is done. Not my problem anymore. I'm that filter that comes into the dining room, and I do it damn well, is I take that food and I make sure that from the time that that's delivered to the time that the guest leaves, that they're happy, that they're smiling. I mean, you wouldn't want your guests at your own dinner party talking about how bad the food was, right? So it's that customer service aspect and that thread that I have to take, that I put through not only what food is on the table, but what kind of plates are on the table, what company's at the table, what kind of music's playing out of my iPod, and what we're going to drink afterwards. Do I have a really great cognac to kind of sip on at my couch where we can relax after the dinner and unwind a little bit? That's what gives me advantage over the average chef that may not know how to kind of present that to their guests. And in this restaurant business that we all love so much, there's a lot of stress. A lot of people, they cope with stress by drinking. I love the stress. The stress is like a rush for me. The restaurant business is a rush. What may give somebody an ulcer, I love. The beginning of 5 o'clock dinner service for me, when 60 to 100 people are about to just race in here, and the line will start forming and the wait will start piling up, and before you know it, it's an hour wait to get a table, and you have these really, really demanding New York clientele giving you that stare of death at the podium. That's stress, but it's a good stress. So, competition and that kind of stress, bring it on. I'm ready for it. And to tell you a little bit about my personal style is conveyed every day, whether I'm at work or I'm at home. I love an eclectic mix of old and new, whether that be in music, whether that be when I'm heading to the flea market on Sunday and looking for some old vintage pieces of sterling silver to put on my table, or I'm buying more antique glasses. It's what I love, it's what I do, whether I'm at work, whether I'm at home. That kind of signature style sense of me is what makes it so unique, and I think my guests and my friends and my family, they love it. I think it should be shown on Rocco's dinner party.